Okay, we're back on the build site again today. Couple updates. First off, if you saw the video I posted this morning, we are back in the Bullet. And we went out to the rubber tree farm yesterday and picked up what we thought were bags of chicken poop. Turned out to be it's more chicken bedding. It's rice husk that appears to have been thrown in with the chickens for bedding, because it does have some poop in it, but it's mostly rice husk. So we brought 50 bags of that out here. Got a little bit of it spread around. You can see where I spread it here, and then her theory's over there. I don't know what it was, but it's, I don't know. Anyhow, we got some stuff here. Looks like the ants have already cut a trail all the way through there. Interesting. We worked all day yesterday, running around doing stuff. We've decided to go ahead and put in a livestock fence, so to speak, around the fish pond itself. 3 sides permanent and this top side temporary. Just more for safety measures than anything. We were going to put the 3 sides on there anyhow later on. We just decided to do it now because of a couple reasons. We got some family members that are needing something to do, and we were a little bit concerned about maybe something like a cow or something, or someone falling in that pond while we're gone. So if we fence it off, it reduces our risk, I guess. But like I said, we're going to put a temporary fence up here on top, put permanent down around the bottom, all the way on around the 3 sides, and those will tie right into our concrete walls once we put the walls in. Those guys are supposed to be here to deliver the fence posts today. They're actually supposed to be here in about 5-10 minutes. So that's why I'm out here this morning, waiting on them. Tie time, probably be here another hour waiting for them, but whatever, doesn't matter. I got nothing else to do this morning now. I did go get a chunk of old barbed wire from Eddie yesterday to throw around this well. I was going to put some posts or something around here to kind of protect it. But I figured if I put this barbed wire around there, the cattle won't go anywhere near that. So that was the whole intent, was to keep the cows off it so they don't lean on it and break it off. So I think that'll work. And it was cheap. Free. Thanks, Eddie. I did mark out the new proposed well house, pump house. I would sit right about here. This would leave the motorcycle parking right here covered. And before, this was all covered motorcycle parking, which is way more than we'd ever need. But moving that pump house down from up above there down to here opens up that entire outdoor living area. The car parking will end somewhere right in here, so then this whole thing becomes an outdoor living area instead of that 3x3 meter building sitting right here, which would be a nice size area now. So I'm pretty glad I made that decision. Same company that we bought the power lines from are delivering the concrete fence posts today. We stopped over and bought those yesterday. And once again, 100 baht delivery. 100 baht to deliver, there was there 31 posts, concrete posts. I mean, that's $3 in the US. $3, I'm not moving 31 concrete posts. And not that I have the means to do it anyhow, because the Silver Bullet ain't gonna haul that many. Power line. I don't think I mentioned this in the video the other day. I was under the impression they were going to put the power meter right here, but they're not. They're putting it on the very first post where we started our line, and they'll put the meter clear down there a kilometer away, half a kilometer away. And these lines and posts are dedicated to us because we paid for them. I was under the impression that we paid the expense to put them in to get power here, and the power company basically could do what they wanted with them as far as adding lines. But the electrician's telling me no, that if someone else comes down here and builds a house right across the road from me, they got to run their own. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to somebody adding lines to my pole to get down here, but I don't know, I thought that was kind of strange. I thought they'd put it right here. So I'm going to talk to him about getting this wire here. It's all connected right now, all the way down to this box. But I want to get enough wire pulled off that loop to run down the box, leave that loop hanging there, but I'll be able to take that loop down and then feed it through the ground and up to this box. There is a little disconnect in here. I can get it open without falling down the hill here. There is a little disconnect right here. Turn it on and off. But I want to just take that loop, drop enough wire down here right from the power lines up above down to here, run them in here, and then leave this loop here until I'm ready for it, and then pull the loop down and use it to run from the house, come up through the bottom, and poke them right in here. So then I can just come out here and shut off everything on the property in one switch, if I need to. Plus it makes it easier when we go to tie it in, because doing it this way, we'd have to have the power company hook the power up, run the build, have them come shut it off long enough for us to pull all those wires down, pull them through the ground and up into the house, get them connected, and then bring the power company back out here for a third time to turn the power back on. So this will allow me to tie the house in at my convenience, because all I got to do is shut the little breaker switch off, pull those two little plugs from the outlet, and hook the two from the house up, and then turn it back on, and the house will be powered up. Might not even have to call the power company. It depends on when they put the meter in on the other end. But anyhow, I got to convince my electrician that that's the right thing to do. And if he doesn't do it, I'll borrow a ladder and get a screwdriver and a knife and do it myself, because it's pretty straightforward. We hired the nephew to put this fence in for us. I did tell him I wanted string lines and levels used, water levels. I don't want some muckety looking fence out here. So I gave him some string, and I marked out the post where I want it. And it looks like he came through yesterday and got most of the holes dug. Well, not most of them, half of them, I suppose. Got this end done. Nothing on the other side, and doesn't look like anything to my left here. But yeah, he said he wasn't going to dig yesterday, but it looks like he did. So that's good, because now he's only got a few holes left to dig, and the posts will be here hopefully soon. And we might get this in a day or two rather than a week like he thought he might do it. Man, I don't know if you saw my other videos when we first did this, but remember when Sompik climbed down in there? She climbed in right here. So, I mean, that thing's only, what, a meter down now. My 2.5 meter mark is, I don't know, it's underwater over there in the middle somewhere. Now we just need to get some fish in there. That cloudiness won't hurt anything, I just don't like it. So at some point I'll try flocking it and just getting that shit knocked out of there. The thing is, I don't know if it'll stay out, and I don't want to just continually flock the thing, so I'll try it. If it works, fine. If it stays, great. If it doesn't, then I'll have a foggy pond. Because there are ponds around. I showed them in a video earlier down the road down here. 50 meters apart, one of them just nasty, dirty, brown cloudy, not green like this. Brown cloudy. And the one 50 meters away is clear as can be. And I think it's because of the somebody's out here burning something. Man, you can't keep people off here. I hope he was out here fishing. And he doesn't catch anything, and then he won't come back. But the ecosystem in these ponds makes all the difference when it comes to water clarity. And so we've got to build an ecosystem. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not well versed on it. I have done a little research, a little studying, but I'll do a lot more until I understand it and get a good feel for it. We'll figure it out, I hope. So that's pretty much all the updates we have. We'll keep you updated on the fence as we go forward. We did have an in-depth conversation with her family. They're worried about this dirt washing away. We had an in-depth conversation with them yesterday about doing the fence, retaining wall, whatever you want to call it, around the outside. But I told them I would not do it if they can't guarantee me we will at least get the footing completed while I'm here. Because I don't want somebody making changes to my plan, because we all know it will. That's what'll happen if I leave it in the hands of someone else here. They'll think they have a better idea and they'll do it without telling us. But anyhow, they said it was too late to guarantee that, and I said, well then, we're not doing it. That's it. So the place that we bought the fence posts sells barbed wire, but they only sell them in like 36-meter rolls. And of course they're saying, oh, just splice it, just splice it. I don't want a bunch of splices around here. It's 75 meters around that. I'd have to have basically 2 splices per level, or per run, whatever you want to call it, of wire. And there's going to be 3 or 4. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but 3 for sure, maybe 4. So I was out trying to source 100-meter spools of barbed wire this morning. I went all over the village, or not the village, but the town. And all I could find was 3 rolls. So I bought those. We're going to put those 3 rolls on. That will get me enough to run 3 lines around the outside, the permanent post, and leave 3 roughly 25-meter scraps, and it's about 23.5 meters across the top here for the temporary. So this one I don't really care if it's spliced. So we'll use those pieces. If we need to splice them, we'll splice them, but because this stuff's going to come out anyhow. But I need to source one more 100-meter roll of wire if I'm going to go with 4 strands. So I'll have him put the 3 roll on the permanent posts while I'm looking for the 4th one. If I find the 4th one, I'll put it on. If not, I'll just have to wait and see what the 3 looks like. If it looks okay, then I'll just leave it at that. If not, I'll just keep searching till I find a 4th one. I'm sure they got one over in Canthalac or Sisaket or someplace. My shoe fell apart yesterday. I tried gluing it back together with PVC cement, and it's not working. I've had those things like 14 years. They've been all over the freaking world with me, but they're staying in Thailand now. All right, the fence posts have arrived right on time. Thai time. 1 hour, 48 minutes late. But I expected at least an hour and a half, so anyhow, guys are here with the posts. And this is the guy here that's putting them in for us, so he's already started digging the holes, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I think they're just going to use the crane there and lay them right down here. These are the guys that delivered the power poles the other day. You remember how many we ordered? Count them. Make sure we got the right ones. Thought it was 31 and 5, right? Yep, that's what's on there. We got it. Cool. Got something right today. Still blows my mind. 100 baht, $3. Get these loaded, drove out here, and delivered, dropped off right here. $3. You gotta love Thailand. So 31 of the based post and 5 of the non-base, which are going to be the temporary ones across the top. All in, I think it was like, I'll confirm the numbers and post it in the video, but it was somewhere around $150, $160 US. And as I said earlier, I sourced that wire this morning. The wire was 550 baht per 100 meters. So what is that? That's like $18 for 100 meters of fence, wire, barbed wire. And the labor, I don't like doing it this way, but the labor hasn't been agreed on. Something told him that, you know, when he gets done, let us know what it's worth to him. I don't like doing that. I'd rather give him a number that I thought was too high and known what it was going to be than to just leave it up to somebody else to decide how much I'm going to pay him. So as you can see, these poles are pre-cast with wires on them to tie the barbed wire to them. They were actually cast with a groove across them. And this has 5 grooves for 5 lines of wire, but they're going a half meter in the ground, so the bottom one will be at ground level. We won't use it. But we're going to look at it, but I think we're going to use the other 4. The sun's hot already this morning. Steel rod rebar. But the key is the concrete mix, and sometimes they don't make them right, and they get really fragile and break easy. And they make all these on site right over here in town, which is why and where we bought these ones, the power lines and the fence posts. Those are 3 meters apart. He wanted to put them 2 meters apart, man. That's just, to me, too close. Two meters would have been right about here. I think 3's good. Because I was thinking 3 or 4. When he said 2, I give in to 3. So this fence should at least keep the cows out and slow the kids down a little bit. Don't want them over here jacking around by this pond. I want them to fall in and drown. They get done unloading this, we're going to head to town and try to find that other piece of wire and try to find somewhere where they got some actual aquatic pond plants. Get in this pond and start oxygenating it. I'm not going to hang around for this project like I did the other ones. You're basically just going to dig holes today, probably start setting some poles tomorrow. I just need to confirm that he's got the wire on the outside the poles and not on the pond side of it. And he's using my string, so I'm comfortable he'll get a straight line on him. The other thing is going to be level, up and down. He says he's got a level, so I hope he's right. This property's came a long ways in 2 weeks, man. Our architecture should be done with the drawings pretty quick. I think it's been right at 2 weeks he's had them, and what the hell is today? Today's Monday, I think. Yeah, it's Monday, so 2 weeks tomorrow, that's 14 days. He said it'd take him 15 days, so later this week he should have our drawings and we can start talking to contractors. Okay, here we're back on the property, morning 3 of the fence build. Just a reminder, the guy that we have doing it is a nephew, and he works on the rubber tree farm all night. So he comes here after he finishes with the rubber tree farm and works on this. So it's not like he's putting in full days, but he did have a couple guys here helping him yesterday, but they have got holes dug, and I think the first couple poles are set. The rest of these are just dropped in here. They haven't done anything with them yet, obviously. But I was making sure that I emphasized straight and level, but we'll see how he does. I don't know. They got all the holes dug around all 3 sides. When we get completely done, I'll get a price together on this fence. It's about 75 meters. It's about 75 meters of permanent fence around these 3 sides, and then 25 meters of temporary fence. That temporary fence we're just putting straight concrete posts and scabbing together pieces of wire, because that's going to come out as soon as we get back here next trip and start. As you can see, they've got all the holes dug along here. Looks like they're missing one. It's supposed to be about, I can see the stick about halfway up there, and that last one hasn't been dug yet. But the last permanent pole is going to be on this hillside right here, side of this embankment, and that will tie in with the concrete wall that'll eventually go right across here, and then we'll just put like a yard fence across this end of the pond to segregate it from the house property, to just keep kids and stuff out of it, and it will tie in over there with the wall that heads up that side. And for the pond, yesterday we went to a plant store and talked to them about what kind of plants we could put in here to help oxygenate and kind of just start some kind of an ecosystem. We talked to them about morning glory, because we see that in all the ponds. I did not know this, but morning glory will just basically vine out over the top of the water, dropping roots down into the water, and it will grow like that. I believe it does have to have a land base for part of it, but they said just throw it in there and it will find its own roots in the sides of the bank somewhere eventually, and it will grow. So that's what we did. We threw some morning glory in there. It's kind of clumped up together in this corner right now. So we also talked to them about lotus and whether it would grow in this deep of water. And the lady said, well, it will, but you got to have a mud bottom, not clay. So the lady at the store told us just take some pots, some plastic pots, pack them full of the mud that the lotus grow in with the plant in there, and just throw them in the pond, and they'll just grow out of those pots at the bottom of the pond and eventually come up to the surface. And then they will start oxygenating the water. So yesterday, I don't want them all over the place, so yesterday we threw 6 pots along that side over there. Probably a total of about 10 plants, I suppose. Some of them had 1 big plant in them, some of them had 3 small ones, 2. I don't know, it's just a mixture of whatever we dug up over at the, what I'll call the uncle's farm over here. He's got bunches of them in one of his ponds. So we just went over there, dug them up, mud and all, and brought some snails with it and just tossed them out there along the edge over there. So we're hoping by the time we get back here, we'll have some lotus, big lotus leaves floating around in here, and this morning glory will have taken root. So we're back at the build site, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm recording on my cell phone. Been having lots of problems with my GoPro 8. They're great cameras for image quality and image stabilization, but they are electronically a piece of crap. I've had nothing but problems. I'm on my second GoPro 8 in a year, and the GoPro 4s I had for years and never had any problems. But anyhow, it might be down for the rest of the visit, so the videos might be a little far and few between, because I know this phone does not work near as well as what the GoPro does. But I wanted to show you the fence. They've got 2 sides of it done. They got the holes all dug over there. I don't know why they're waiting to put them in, but they're all laying there. We got enough posts. I counted them and counted the holes. They just got to drop them in there, bury them, and then stretch the wire. The wire's hooked up over there and laying on the ground. And then we got the 5 temporary posts across that end. Once they get these 3 runs across here, they'll use the scraps from there to go across here. I think I'm only going to put 2 strands, but now that I look at it, I might go 3. I'm not sure. But anyhow, should be good enough to keep the cattle out of here and deter some kids from getting in here, because this pond is getting deep. It is far deeper than I thought it would get. It's filled up nicely. We got our morning glory in there trying to take root. I don't know why it's all piling over here. As I said yesterday, we have the lotus plants we threw in the bottom across over there. So hopefully those will be up by the time we get back here next year or whenever we come back. And of course the fence should be done today if he comes out, because he doesn't have much left at all. Drop 8 posts in over there, stretch wire, and he's done. And that's really the last major project we have for this build. Of course, I've said that the last couple of times. We weren't going to do the well, we weren't going to do the fence, and now here we are doing them. But I really don't think there's going to be much after this for this trip. Some pet left about 8 bags of fertilizer sitting here, and someone stole it last night. I didn't even notice it. She got out here and asked me where it was at. I said, shit, I don't know. I get to looking. You can see right here where somebody backed a 3-wheeler right up here, loaded it, and then drove right out there. The three-wheel trike. We are waiting on the engineer to get our prints. I did email him last night with this change on the pump house, getting it down here on a motorcycle parking. I drew it up in 3D. I'll drop a picture in right here so you can see it. And I think it looks pretty good. It's really going to open up this upper area, and it'll utilize that space much better. It's still going to leave me about 20 feet or a little over 5 meters, 5.5 meters of covered parking here, which is way more than enough for half a dozen motorbikes or a full-size car. It'll give me 1.5 meter walkway up through here, up the steps and into the house. I'm going to put the door on it right here at the bottom of these steps coming down from the house, and put the door right there. So when you come out of the house, you can just go straight into the storage. I'll put the water tank and pressure pump behind the door right here in this corner. So it'll be easy to just access the well right into there. So that's what I got for this morning. No news beyond the fence update. I'm still going to get this wire thing figured out over here. I mean, I got it figured out. I just need to get it done. Talk to my electric guy, and if he doesn't want to do it, I'll do it myself. If I can borrow a ladder somewhere. So that's what we got this morning. Like I said, it should be done today. So like I said, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do for videos with these camera problems I'm having. The damn thing won't start up for some reason. I've been having problems, and it's just progressively getting worse, and I can't even get it to start this morning now. 3 different batteries. I know they're all charged because I made sure they were all completely charged this morning before I left the room an hour ago. So I don't know. And if I have to, when I get back to Bangkok, I'll just buy a whole new GoPro. I might upgrade to a 9 or 10, but I hate to do that because I got all the chargers and the microphone mounts and everything for the 8, so I hate to upgrade again, but I don't want to keep spending money on these if they're not going to work. So my first GoPro 8, waterproof out of the box. First time I took it in the water, fried. This one now, I can't get it to do anything. It has just completely quit working, won't start up, nothing. So I'm not sure what's going on with those, but I'm tired of them. So I had my GoPro 4 out here earlier today. I brought that with me in a waterproof case in case we go to the beach. But that's the only way I have to mount it to a stick, is in that waterproof case. I made a video earlier today, and the video is no good because you can't hear any audio. So I'm back out on the property. They are over here trying to complete the fence project. They had requested that we bring them 2-meter poles, 2-meter posts. And we did that, but when they got to this side, the elevations, the ground elevations was too high. They wanted 1.5-meter posts. I don't know, they just didn't want to dig the holes deeper. So yesterday we had to get the post company to come back out here, pick up the 2-meter post and drop off the 1.5-meter post. So they did that. So now today the guys are back here. They should be able to finish. They've got them all stood. I don't know if they're buried. I haven't walked over there yet. And there's some pit on the bike just getting here. But all they need to do is just stretch wire down there and across here. I did tell Sawpit to ask them to put some kind of an opening in those corner posts there so we could get in and out. Even though we said we weren't going to do any more projects, we decided since we're fencing this in, we can go ahead and put some trees in the ground because the cattle aren't going to be able to get to them now to eat them like they were before. So tomorrow morning, we're going to get up, go buy some trees at the market, and bring them down here and put them in. When I was here earlier, I did get down in there with a tie shovel and cut some steps in the side there. So it's a little easier to get in and out of that hole. The water, I think, is about as high as it's going to get, but it's got to be close to 9 feet. But hopefully this fence will be done today, and in the morning when we come out here, I can show you a completed fence. Looks like all the posts are in. And they're all buried. So what we gotta do is run wire now down here and across this end. And I bought an extra strand so I can run a fourth wire on those two sides, because those are the 2-meter posts, and there's just pretty large gaps along the bottom on that other side, so I'm gonna have them run a fourth wire around there. So they're getting ready to pull this wire out right now.